Hello, you guys. So today I have a lesson more so than a message, and it's entitled Lousy Leaders. Now, sometimes we have leaders who we feel are respectable, they're commendable, they're admirable, and we can look up to them and we feel like we're going to grow under their stewardship. And then there are other times where we're in a predominantly secular sector, or we're a part of an organization or institution where the leader is poor, they're a dictator, they demean the people that work under them or what have you, and or you just feel like they're unjustly in that leadership position for whatever your critique may be. There are times where God will put Christians in predominantly secular sectors, or he'll put us in a corrupt institution, and we are there to serve a purpose. And so I have lessons from lousy leaders, and my inspiration, or what God led me to, was Nebuchadnezzar and Daniel. So Nebuchadnezzar was the king of a perverse and ungodly nation, and he served idol gods, and so he was not a man of God. However, Daniel was captured and brought to a foreign land, and he had to serve under him. And so these are the lessons that we are learning from Daniel. I used leader as an acronym, and the first one is L. L is for land. Daniel was set apart. He was from a foreign land. He was from a royal family, and he was brought captive. He was brought as a captive into Babylon. The second one is established. Daniel was established by God. God gave him and his friends unusual favor. He gave them an unusual aptitude for understanding every aspect of literature and wisdom. And he gave Daniel a special ability to interpret visions and dreams. The next one is A, approach. Daniel had an excellent approach. He was not a martyr. He did not take a knee. He worked within the system in order to shift the system and turn them towards God. I have Daniel chapter 1 verse 8. He determined to himself that he did not want to defile himself with the king's food. So what he did was he came up with a competition to where he said, well, test us. I'll eat, the food that I'll eat, and they can eat the king's food. And in the end, you can test both of us to see which one of us performs the best from our diets. And he came out on top. And he ended up shifting it to where now everyone had to follow his lead and eat the things that he was eating. The next one is D, his dedication. He was dedicated to serving his leader, even though he was not a man of God. It says that he served him for a year until the reign of King Cyrus. So a lot of times when we have people in leadership who we feel are not working up to par, we try to overshadow them, outwork them, or try to show them up in some way. And Daniel didn't do that. He was integral. E is he exceeded expectations. Daniel chapter 1 verse 20. Whenever the king consulted them on any matter requiring wisdom or balanced judgment, he found them to be 10 times more capable than any of the magicians or the enchanters in the entire kingdom. So he exceeded expectations. He worked above and beyond everyone else. And lastly is R. He reverenced God. It says in chapter 2 verse 30, and it is not because I am wiser than anyone else that I know the secrets of your dreams, but because God wants you to understand what is in your heart. So he gave reverence and honor to God. He did not boast in the gifts that God had given him. He made sure not to take God's glory and to give reverence and honor to God in the things that he was capable of doing. And lastly, Daniel chapter 4:37 is where we see Nebuchadnezzar's heart turn towards God as a result of Daniel's the example that he set for him, and his work and his faithfulness. It says that once Daniel interpreted the dream for Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar was driven into the wilderness, and there was a period of time where he was basically out of his head, out of his mind. Once his mind was restored back to him, Nebuchadnezzar humbled himself and he gave glory and honor to God. It says in chapter 4, verse 37, "Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and glorify and honor the King of heaven. All his acts are just and true, and he is able to humble the proud." So he humbled himself before God. And the last note I wanted to state was that God does not always dethrone lousy leaders. Like, God does not always dethrone them, or he didn't dethrone the king. Instead, he decided to shift his heart posture. And that's really what we should be after. Not so much trying to eliminate people or like demote them or try to kick them out of their leadership position, however you want to say it. We should more so be concentrating on shifting the hearts and the minds of the people towards God. So that is my lesson for today. It was a little bit longer, so hopefully you guys watch it. I tried to keep it under 3 minutes, but I know it went over. But I pray that you guys have a blessed and wonderful day. Know that whatever position that God has placed you in, that you were there for a purpose, and that your witness does matter. Your workmanship does matter, and you can have a part in shifting someone's heart and mind towards God in the workplace, in the whatever organization or whatever affiliation you're attached to. So that's my word for today. I pray that you guys have a blessed and wonderful day, and I will see you guys back here on the next one. Bye.